The Saints have made some roster moves, and we have an injury update around Derek Carr and some other players. Plus, I want to talk about an interesting trade rumor for the New Orleans Saints. Welcome into today's show, Saints fans. As always, quick reminder to subscribe, lock us in. That way you never miss any content. We will be live for our Week 4 game against the Buccaneers 30 minutes before kickoff. I hope to see you there. But without further ado, let's break down the roster moves. So you can see on your screen, Tre'Quan Smith, the wide receiver, he was released from the injured reserve list, making him a free agent. And fun fact, he's already visiting with Sean Payton out in Denver, and if he passes physicals, passes exams and stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if he is a Bronco. Jake Luton, he was signed to the practice squad to the active roster off of the Panthers practice squad. Kirk Merritt, he is a running back. He was released from the practice squad. Storm Norton, he was poached by the Atlanta Falcons. He is signed to their roster. Daniel Sorensen, he returns to the New Orleans Saints. He was with the Saints last season to the practice squad this year. Mark Evans, the offensive tackle, signed to the practice squad, and that is your latest roster moves. All right, and in terms of an injury update, Dennis Allen, says that Derek Carr, the quarterback, is feeling better today. He's dealing with that AC joint right shoulder injury, which is his throwing arm. He said that during the game, he couldn't even lift up his arm to hold a football, but he says he's feeling a lot better today. Did not practice at all, did not participate. He was there in a practice jersey, no helmet, no shoulder pads, no nothing, but he was at least present and he was around his team. So I think that that's something worth noting. And the question to be determined still, will Derek Carr play? Because head coach Dennis Allen, he said, I'm not ruling anything out. And a lot of Saints fans are sitting here saying, well, why don't you throw Taysom Hill in at quarterback? Because Jameis Winston didn't get the job done against the Packers. Well, DA didn't even consider Hill to fill in at quarterback. So another update around Derek Carr. He is doing everything he can to play, but he's not going to do anything to hurt the team. And the direct quote from Carr is, if I can't help the football team win, I will never do that to our team. This is about winning, and it's about the team. But if I feel like I can help us win, and I'm confident in landing on it and all of that kind of stuff, I'll be out there. So be ready. Derek Carr might play, and it might be a lot sooner than we all thought initially when that injury happened last week. But in terms of players who were absent from practice, you have Cesar Ruiz. He was not there. He's dealing with that concussion. Foster Moreau, he's dealing with an ankle injury. Paulson Adebo, he did not play last week, but he's still dealing with that hamstring ailment. Jordan Howden, he also was not at practice with a finger issue. But interesting enough around Howden, the news around him is he injured his finger last week in practice, popped up on the injury report on Friday, still participated in practice, went ahead and played in week 3 against the Packers in Green Bay, but today he did not participate. He's dealing with that finger issue. And so I think that's why the Saints brought back Dan Sorensen. I think there's some more things around that, and I'm going to get to thoughts there. But still to come, more injury report, the latest injury report, everything that's around all that. I got some more thoughts I want to share there. And then I'm also going to talk about, could the Saints trade for Hunter Renfro? But before we get to that, guys, I'm super excited about our new sponsor here at Saints Now, PrizePicks. And I can't wait to tell you all about them. PrizePicks is the largest independently owned daily fantasy sports platform in North America. And it's the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's just you against the numbers. So go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Instead of battling versus thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you select just 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. PrizePicks is the most fun I've had, winning up to 25 times my money this football season. And with quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what makes PrizePicks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. So you can see on screen right here. Here are my picks that I'm going with. So the projection for Michael Thomas, more or less than 52.5 receiving yards, I'm taking more. Desmond Ridder, more or less than 193.5 passing yards. It's always after Falcons, so I'm taking less. And Russell Wilson, 235.5 passing yards. I was feeling a little bit risky, so I'm going more there. So guys, once again, go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Daily fantasy sports made easy. That link is available in the comment section and in the description of this video. All right, so here is that practice report for New Orleans. You can see it. As we mentioned a little bit ago, Jordan Howden, Cesar Ruiz, Paulson Adebo, Foster Moreau, they were not there. They did not participate. Derek Carr was present. And then tight end Jimmy Graham and offensive tackle Ryan Ramczyk were on rest days. It's kind of standard for the two of them. They seem to be on those rest days on, early in the week, meaning that they did not participate on Wednesday, like I said. So here we are. This is why I think Dan Sorensen was signed. Because Jordan Howden is, dealing with that finger issue. Is he going to be ready to go? Who knows at this point? You have Marcus May dealing with that suspension for the DUI instance that happened when he was with the Jets. That's unfortunate, but you got to have somebody lined up next to Tyrann Mathieu. There is familiarity with Daniel Sorensen. I'm not really high on him. Don't really think that the Saints need him, but when you have injuries like this, it makes a lot of sense. So I can't say that I'm too surprised about this, but I can say I'm tired of these freaking injuries. And if you're tired of the injuries, get in the comment section and type F injuries right now. I can't stand it. It's the worst part of all of sports, and I hate it because it feels like it always happens to the New Orleans Saints at the worst possible times. So get in the comment section and type F injuries. All right, guys, let's round out today's show with talking about reuniting Derek Carr and Hunter Renfro. I almost said Foster Moreau. That reunion's already happened, but the Raiders are hardly utilizing Renfro, which makes me believe the Saints could be a team to go and trade for him. I mean, look at the stats for Renfro. 3 targets, 3 receptions, 40 yards. It's very clear that Jacoby Myers and Devontae Adams are the 2 top guys for Jimmy Garoppolo, who is the current quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders, if you didn't know that. But when you look at Hunter Renfro's stats, they're pretty impressive. The consistency is something that I really like. I mean, you have 11.7 yards per catch in 2020. You have 12.3 in 2019. And then in 2021, 10.1. 2022, 9.2. He's finding the end zone multiple times a season. He's racking up decent yards. And one of my favorite things about him is that whole third and Renfro, idea. He gets first downs. He keeps drives alive. And Derek Carr and him, they have a lot of familiarity. So some chat stats for that segment today. The New Orleans Saints offense averages 17.6 points per game. And I think that that's just absolutely abysmal, especially when you look at the talent that they have in the wide receiver room. How is it just 17.6 points per game? I mean, A.T. Perry hasn't played yet. Keith Kirkwood has kind of been quiet. Lynn Bowden Jr. has taken the place of Traquan Smith. Chris Olave and Michael Thomas, Rashid Shaheed, they're all great, but I'm not really satisfied with the offensive production. And to be 100% frank, the offensive line hasn't done DC any favors. But let's just call it how it is. I think that Carr has been holding on the ball too long. He even said that today in his post-practice press conference. He says, I know that I held the ball too long. I know that I got to be quicker to pull the trigger and, get the ball out. But I also do think that a player like Hunter Renfro might offer some comfort to Derek Carr. I mean, like I said, there's the familiarity there. They know each other. They have chemistry. They know when to throw the ball, where to put the ball, how quickly to deliver the pass. What is the good timing for all of that? And I think that bringing in a player like Renfro, 1, would not be expensive, and 2, I think that it would be a very good move. So I want to hear from you, Who Dat Nation. What say you? Should the Saints trade for Hunter Renfro? Just give me a yes or no down in the comment section. And guys, if you want to go a step further, let me know on Twitter. Hit me up on X, formerly known as Twitter, at TraceGirouard48. It's also my Instagram. It's also my TikTok. I love chopping it up with the Who Dat Nation, and I love hanging out with you guys. So if you guys want to share your thoughts, if you guys want to just give me an opinion, just hit me up on Twitter, trying to grow my social media presence. But as always, Saints fans, thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.